What's up, everybody? My name is Simon Hill. Thanks for clicking this video and thanks for tuning in. I'm a Black American who's been traveling the world for the past few years and documenting my experiences about what it's like to be Black abroad. The reason I make these videos is because there is a severe lack of content related to Black travelers. There are not enough honest reviews that prepare Black travelers for what to expect when abroad. I have been crucified by some for sharing my experiences and lauded by others. I don't do this for glory, I don't do this for fame, and I don't do this to be liked. I do this to be real, raw, and honest about what I have to say. So if you appreciate that from your YouTubers, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and join my community. Now, first things first, let's get some disclaimers out of the way. First and foremost, I recognize my privilege as an American to be able to travel more freely around the world because of passport privilege. Secondly, I acknowledge my privilege as a heterosexual, cisgendered man to be able to travel the world and not have to worry about rampant sexism or homophobia and that sort of discrimination as well. I also acknowledge that it can be perceived that I'm punching down or trying to kick poor or developing nations when I give these reviews. That is not the intention. The intention is not to disrespect any culture, any nationality, any religion, any race of people at all. I am only here to help guide Black travelers and give my honest review about my personal experience. If you feel like you know better than me what it's like to be me or to be Black, I want you to do this. Pick up the cell phone you're watching this video on or turn on the camera on your computer that you're watching this on, and you tell me what it's like to be Black anywhere that I've spoken about. And we'll laugh away. Also, I recognize that Kosovo is a disputed territory that some countries acknowledge as a real state and other countries do not. And this is a controversial issue, but foremost, I don't want anything that I say to be misconstrued as hate against a particular group of people. So I don't want, let's say, people from Serbia watching this video to denigrate Albanians or Kosovars. And I don't want anything that I say to help promote one side or the other in the conflicts related to Kosovo. That's not it. With that out of the way, let's get to it. What was my experience like as a Black person here in Kosovo? Boy, at first I loved it. So I came here and stayed for a week in Kosovo. Came in on Sunday, and now I'm leaving for Albania this Sunday. So 1 week here in Pristina, Kosovo. Coming into the city, it was relatively easy to move around. Everything is really affordable. They do use euros here, but you can eat out for two people with less than 10 euros. You can have fun, you can go clubbing, you can have drinks. A lot of things you can do, really affordable here. It's very walkable as a city. It's easy to move around. And secondly, the majority of people here are so warm and so welcoming and so friendly. Other Black people have spoken about the Albanian community in the United States and about how they discriminate against Black Americans and how they're sort of a closed-off community and they don't want to associate with non-Albanians, apparently. I'm from Louisiana. I'm not from New York. I'm not from LA. I'm not from one of the big hubs. I'm from small town Louisiana. So I never knew any Albanians really until I came here. And the first impressions I had of the Albanian people or the Kosovar people, however you want to describe them, was that they were very, very hospitable, very respectful. They say things like, yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, you're welcome. Very, very hospitable. I don't know if they do that to everybody or if they just did that to me because I'm an obvious tourist and that sort of thing, but still it left a very, very good impression. So I have to say, first and foremost, the welcoming nature of the people makes this, really a place that sucks you in when you first came in. Speaking of sucks, what really sucks? Allergies. Oh, I had the worst allergies I ever had in my life coming here in the summer. Sneezing all the time. Hay fever was kicking my ass here in Kosovo. No, but honestly, coming here to Kosovo, I liked it so much during those first 3, 4, 5 days that I was really thinking about trying to convince my wife that we should move here. That, even though it's a poor developing nation, even though it's a conflict zone, I was saying, we can make a life here because, with the money I make, and by the way, I'm a poor English teacher, only $1,500 a month go into my pocket. I can make it stretch here and I could live like a pretty decent life here in Kosovo. So it was that good at first. Also, I know that there are Black men out there who are what are called passport bros. I've given my opinions about your community and your ideology, but I still will give some light and give some game for any black men who are thinking about traveling here because they're seeking, let's say, romantic opportunities. I'll say this, the Kosovar women, they look all right. They have TNA, a lot of TNA, very curvy. Not the prettiest faces, I would say. But if you're looking to do that here and you're coming here trying to find that, I think you might find it very challenging because I do get the impression that the families here are still very closed off and that they would not like mixed marriages or mixed relationships. Yeah, you might get laid, but it might not be for the right reasons, and you know what I'm talking about. And even if you do get laid, you might not be able to secure the bag and get the girl that you really want because their family would not be accepting, let's say, of non-Muslims, but in reality what they mean are, kafirs in reference to black people. I'm just gonna keep it real for you. I don't have to worry about that. I have a beautiful wife and a beautiful life, and I wouldn't risk it for nothing. Nothing, you hear me? Anyway, usually when I make these BLAXIT videos, I've stayed in a country for 3 months at least before I even open up my mouth about what it's like to be black in this country. This was a shorter trip, and so this will be a shorter video, but I have to talk about my experience at a bar named Zanzibar. I've been open about my experience in Tanzania and how I very much dislike that country, and I never expected that I could really be followed by Tanzania. I'm cursed. Zanzibar really gave me a bad experience in Kosovo. How ironic. The irony. Anyway, if you didn't see my previous video about the explicit racism I experienced here in Pristina, Kosovo, go check that out. Long story short, and a short story long, I was going out with my wife on Friday on our last full night here in Kosovo, and I wanted to go have a few drinks and bar hop and dance and have fun with her. We went to several other places before we made it to this underground jazz lounge named Zanzibar, and they wouldn't let me in because they said my outfit wasn't appropriate. Any black person who's ever been out knows that this is code word for we don't want to let black people in. They make up an excuse at the door about a dress code or some sort of reservation just to make sure that you can't get in. It's happened to me in the United States, it's happened to me in Tunisia, it's happened to me in several other countries that I've been to, and it's a shame that it happened here in Kosovo. It's very likely that the bouncer who didn't let me in never even spoke to a black person, but still, the first time he met one, he decided that he wanted to flex his white supremacy on me and show me that he can denigrate me and make me feel like less than a man. Though I spent money here in Kosovo for a very nice, very expensive outfit, trying to look good here and stimulate the economy, spending a lot of money here in Kosovo. But I guess my money isn't green enough to offset my blackness. And that was the reason I couldn't get into Zanzibar, the jazz club. Named after black people, playing black music, and Zanzibar doesn't let in black people. It really, really, really hurt me. Previously in that day, I went to Juma, trying to show love to the Muslim community here. If you don't believe I'm really outside when I go to these countries and I'm not staying in resorts and I'm not staying up in the hotel all day, go check out my other videos. I'm really outside in these countries. And being outside that day showed me that white supremacy is here. Racism is here. If it happened at one bar, it could happen again. And that's a big problem here. It really broke my heart that that happened. I'm gonna backtrack here a bit, but I want to say this. There will be, inevitably, because there always is, some smartass in the comments who's going to say, I'm white and they mistreated me, or, if I was white and I was wearing that, I wouldn't get into the club either, or, you know what, there isn't racism, it's just them being stupid. All the other excuses white people make for bad behavior on behalf of other white people is really annoying. And I want to say this, your comments will not be read. Your comments will not be published. If you know what it's really like to be black, once again, I challenge you, tell me, show the world your face. Until then, shut the front door. Other experiences I've had being here in Kosovo as a black person is when I'm walking down the street holding hands with my wife, a group of mostly men turn around and point and laugh. Probably because they've been flooded with the stereotypes and misconceptions about black men that we are sexual deviants or that we have very large penises or that we're here to take white women away from white men and that sort of thing, or just horrible, feelings. You know the feeling you get when you're walking down the street and people are staring at you because to them you're some sort of object of attraction in a negative way. And it's very, very uncomfortable walking here, being with the woman I love, trying to be romantic with her, and at the same time people are making a spectacle out of it and a joke, as if black men can't love. Secondly, there have been times when people assumed that I was an athlete here, or they assumed that I was a rapper or some musician. Though I do like to run, and yes, I am a very bad amateur rapper, no, that is not my profession. When I'm walking down the street, people sometimes say, oh, look, there's Tupac, or, oh, hello, Mike Tyson, or what's up, Michael Jordan, that sort of thing. It's very annoying when people do that because we never know what they think of those heroes. I love Tupac. Tupac is a great man. Was a great man. He's dead. Tupac was a great man. He was a revolutionary, a fighter, somebody who innovated music. But to them, in their mind, Tupac might be a thug, a criminal. And so when they call you that, it could mean those things. And so I don't acknowledge those things, and I don't like it when people say that. So comparing us to our heroes, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, white people. Please stop. I've had people come up and try to take pictures with me that I don't know, and I want to tell all black travelers this. Please stop doing this. Please stop going abroad and taking pictures with random white people just because they're black, and don't let them trick you into doing it. Please, please, because when I was texting with the owner of Zanzibar, he replied with a picture of him next to a black person. It said, I can't be racist. I hire black musicians. How dumb. Listen, I've been very friendly with the Kosovo Albanian people that I've met here. On my first night here, and you can go watch the video, I met some guy at a bar named Vigar, and he came up to me drunk, talking about all his friends in Norway were Africans, and he was coming at me with these questions about Louisiana and that sort of thing, and I answered him, and I educated him, and I tried to share with him, even though he was literally crazy, and I don't think he understood anything, plus he was drunk. But later that night, I'm sitting at a table at a bar with my friend Addie, another black American I met here in Kosovo. Vigar comes up to Addie and says, hey, I remember you. You're from Louisiana. Let me buy you a drink. Confusing us. I guess he thinks that all black people look the same, or he thinks that we're dumb enough to think that we don't know that he has mistaken us. That's complex racism. But it hasn't been all bad. That same night at the bar, another Albanian guy came up to me and in broken English said, what are you doing in my country? Now that question can sound offensive, but I'm an open person, ready to talk and have dialogue. Conversation can cure all. So I say, I'm here as a tourist, I'm here traveling. He said, where are you from? And I said, I'm from America, Louisiana, and he said, I'm from New York. Side note, when you come to Kosovo, almost everybody has a cousin in New York for some reason. Anyway, he said he lives in New York and his wife was actually a black woman. And he wanted to ask me about my experiences as a black person here because his wife wants to come to Kosovo, but she's worried about the racism that can exist here. Maybe because his Albanian family has been racist against his black wife. So she might assume that a lot of the racism that she's experienced from his family stems from here. Well, I didn't have the answer for him then because I had literally arrived in Pristina that night. But my answer to him and his wife is this. Kosovo, generally, Pristina, from what I've seen, is a cool place. Generally, you can get by as a black person. You won't have open racism in your face, but the implicit bias is still there. I do think it would be hard to integrate into a society where you are a visible minority in this case, and people might not willingly accept you or allow you to assimilate and integrate. When it comes to learning Albanian or trying to pick up on the social cues here, there might still be that outside barrier of being treated as a foreigner. Add on top of that the Islamic part where if you're not a Muslim, maybe it will be harder to be considered as a part of this society too. I think those are the biggest barriers for black Americans who want to travel here or live here and that sort of thing. As I said before, when I first came here, I fell in love with this place, but my experience last night at the bar Zanzibar really was my nigga wake up call. And that nigga wake-up call showed me that if it happened once, it can happen again. And it's an unsafe place for me mentally. And if I have children later, my black children running around in this country, that might not let them into opportunities, spaces, places, romantic opportunities, that sort of thing, because of the color of their skin. And that's a big problem. In a Muslim country, I thought Islam forbid racism. What happened? All in all, my summary is this: there is a lot of ignorance that lives here, but also a lot of beauty. If you're coming here for the right reasons and with an open mind and an open heart, you can make lifelong friends, meet good people, learn new things, and experience new parts of life. As Black travelers, we should do this because, as we know, as bad as it might be here, it will never be as bad as it is in the United States, where we are literally killed for being us. That, I think, would not happen in Kosovo. So I do suggest Black travelers come here, but just remember that white supremacy does live here, anti-Blackness does live here, and we need to be wary, vigilant, and aware. We need to love each other, we need to love all people, but we also need to demand respect for ourselves. And that's all I have to say. My name is Simon Hill, thanks for watching, and peace.